Welcome to
Welcome
the
to the
Scribble
Scribble
Brothers.
Brothers. This is our second go at a pilot episode, formerly called Forgotten Jelly. Lucas, what is a scribble?
I'd say a scribble is a combination of random ideas and thoughts combined with, some stupid drawings that we make.
Yeah, like shower thoughts, questions almost, right?
Exactly, but you kind of write down some pictures in the notebook when you start thinking about things.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. So the way this works is we have our own lives and we go out throughout our own lives and we have our own scribbles, these shower thoughts that we write down throughout the week, and then we present to each other our scribbles, not knowing what the other person is going to say, and we react and kind of chat about them. So let's get started. I'd like to start with the first scribble here. I'm excited to share this one with you, Lucas. Um, the Chewbacca noise is incredible to use really at any time. When you are in a tough situation, it feels good to let out a Chewbacca noise. When you're in a happy situation, you let out a Chewbacca noise. But before I go further, I want to hear your Chewbacca noise, Lucas.
I got
Oh,
the rolling of the R's.
oh, nice. Mine's a little bit
Yeah,
more from the throat. I like it.
yeah, yeah. Mine's
So
tongue.
so this happened. I was driving from San Diego to Los Angeles to visit a friend. And I missed like two turns because I was just confused with the map and the traffic. And the first one added like 4 minutes. I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. And then the next time I missed a turn, it added like 6 more minutes. And I just, in my car, just let one out. And it felt so good to let out a little Chewbacca yell from frustration. And it got me thinking, when are other good times to let out a Chewbacca yell? There's the upset times, like you fail a test. There's the times when you miss a turn while driving. But then also, what about happy times, Lucas? What if you're like getting married and you're up on the altar and you see your wife coming down the aisle and you feel so happy. You go,
Oh,
"Ah!" You're just so excited. Or maybe the food you've just ordered is even better than you expected. You're like, oh, this is such good pad thai. Ah! What are some other times you could let out a little Chewbacca yell?
I'd say in sports, I'd like to see a professional athlete. Pat Mahomes throws a touchdown and on the camera just shows him doing a Chewbacca noise. I think that'd be incredible.
I like in sports.
Yeah. Or
Ugh.
The announcers in a sports game. I'd
Yeah,
love if
down to the
Tom
20, to the 10, to
Yeah,
the 5. He crosses the goal line. Ah!
that'd be good for the kids, right? It's pretty
Yeah.
engaging.
Yeah. I should teach my students to do a little Chewbacca yell.
Yeah.
Anthony, you got a good score on that test. Ah! Just let them get
Yeah.
excited.
The weekly Chewbacca noise. Whoever scores the best on the test, they go up to the front of the class and they get to do their best Chewbacca impression.
That's good. How about at your work? Any times you could use a Chewbacca noise?
If you get your finger pinched in a machine, yeah, it's a known fact. If you let out a scream when you're in pain, it actually it like psychologically blocks out the pain for a second.
There you
So
go.
if you get your finger pinched,
Yeah, the Chewbacca yell. Nice. All right, what do you got?
all right, I got a stat here for you. 79% of people in the U.S. fluently speak English, of course, and they believe that they're literate, but we're still pronouncing these words and sayings incorrectly. The
Okay.
first the first one I have is hunger pangs. Are you familiar? Pangs.
It's not hunger pain.
It's hunger pangs, not pain.
Pangs. What's a pang?
It's just a sharp contraction of your muscles that causes you some discomfort. So that's one that someone corrected me on this week, and I felt like a real Chewbacca after that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Another one is
Uh,
that comes in my life a lot is prima donna. I actually thought that meant like you're being somebody before Madonna's life. I
oh.
never knew what that one meant. Another one that was coined from George Bush is misunderestimate. When you mistakenly underestimate somebody. Any good ones that you can think of? Any
That's
phrases
take
that
it
we
take it
say
for
wrong?
for granted or granted. I think a lot of people think it's like granite, like a granite countertop.
Yeah, yeah,
Take it for granite.
but it's granted.
And then
Yeah.
there's mixing metaphors. So you can take a metaphor like behind the eight ball and a metaphor like I don't know what goes up comes down, and you say behind the up down. Yeah.
Behind the up down. I've never heard that one before.
No, I'm saying if you get confused.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Another one of my favorites is like nip in the bud, like a
Yeah,
flower bud. We say
yeah.
nip in the butt.
Yeah, just get the
Just like
behind.
saying that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just lose it. Yeah.
or butt naked. It's
But
actually
buck,
buck
buck
naked.
naked. Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew that one. I learned that one.
Yeah, there
I
you
think I
go.
said it wrong a long time ago and someone corrected me. Yeah.
It's pretty embarrassing when you have one of these phrases wrong.
Yeah, especially if you're like a professional you're in a meeting and you just say like nip it in the butt and they look at you
Yeah.
like, "No, I think it's
Yeah, I've
bud."
heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that one at work before.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
What do you got?
all right. Next one. Okay, here we go. Prove me wrong. There is no food that goes poorly with a lemon.
Say a
Do
lime?
do any foods go poorly with lemon or lime?
Okay, or lime. I was gonna say like a key lime pie. I don't think you're gonna squirt some lemon, but even
It
that,
would
like,
taste fine.
it would
Citrus
taste
on
pretty good.
citrus.
Um,
Like anything, even ham or ketchup or chocolate, it all works. And it doesn't have to go amazingly well. It doesn't have to be the best food you've ever had, but just a food
yeah,
that doesn't go wrong. Like
doesn't go
some,
wrong. Yeah,
are there any foods that don't go well with a lemon?
maybe like barbecue baked beans, but then you wouldn't even taste it.
It
Yeah, you
would,
wouldn't
you can
even
do a little
taste
lime in
it.
there, a little citrus kick.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be bad.
What about like sashimi? Like, aren't you not supposed to put like lemon on like flesh?
I don't even know what that is.
Like sushi, raw fish
Oh,
that's been cleaned.
oh, you told, I don't know. Maybe you can, maybe you can't.
Uh,
What about like ceviche? That has like lemon and raw fish. And
true,
I
true.
think, I was thinking that milk, like milk, it can like curdle or curd or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
But even still, there's like the Brazilian lemonade. That's like kind of milk and lemon. And
yeah,
it's hard to find a food that goes poorly with lemon.
yeah. And you have yogurt flavored or yogurt flavored lemon flavored yogurt
Yeah.
in there too. So yeah, there's probably a drink somewhere that it probably like wouldn't go good. Maybe like a cocktail. There's got to be some cocktail out there that I don't know, but you have the lemon garnish on pretty much
Even like an
everything.
espresso
Yeah.
martini, like that's pretty different, but you're still you wouldn't it wouldn't be bad. Like it wouldn't, yeah, you're right. It wouldn't be great, but it wouldn't be bad. I
How
don't
about
uh-huh.
toast? You don't want soggy toast. You don't want the lemon on toast. How about that, huh?
All right, that doesn't pair too well. I
Just
like that.
something stale or dry. You don't want to make it
Like
soggy with lemon
Biscoff. You don't
juice.
want lemon with your
Yes.
Biscoff.
Yeah. But then
Yeah.
probably wouldn't be bad.
It
It'd
wouldn't
still
be
probably
bad.
be like edible.
The texture would go poorly, but the flavor wouldn't be
Yeah.
bad.
That's what I would say. Maybe like a piece of bread. You
Yeah.
put lemon on it. You don't want it to be soggy. That's what I would say it'd be bad with.
Yeah. All right, I like that.
But,
That makes sense. All right, what's your next scribble?
I got a really short one for you. So playing disc golf the other day in the woods. I used the restroom out in the woods, and I was thinking to myself, why does this feel so good? Why does it feel so natural to pee in the woods? And I looked it up, and it's just a way to connect with nature and feel like you're adventuring out in the woods and just kind of being, one with the trees. Would you disagree?
One with the trees and one with our
Yeah.
ancestors. For
Hmm.
200,000 years, the Homo sapien has peed in the woods. And just in the last, call it 20,000 years, we have started to develop shelters and ways to capture our excrement and get rid of it. And we've started going to the bathroom indoors. So we are not just connecting with the woods in the squatch in the woods. We are connecting with our ancient ancestors.
It's a good idea. Yeah. One with Bigfoot.
One with Bigfoot.
Back to our squatchy
Yeah.
routes.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a good, no, it's a good question. It does, it's like, it's freeing. It's a
Yeah.
freeing from the modern society.
It
Go
also
ahead.
feels good to conserve on water, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes you feel good.
Absolutely. All right. I've got one for you. The Great Sock Reset of 2022. I threw out a couple dirty socks the other day, and it reminded me of this story I wanted to tell you. In 2021 into 2022, on the new year, I traveled in a little Europe trip on break from university, and I mostly was surfing, and I just had one pair of shoes with me, and I was gone for about a month. And so I had, I don't know, six pairs of socks, one pair of shoes, and I was traveling around all this whole month, and it was rainy, and the weather wasn't great, and my socks would get wet, the shoes would get wet, and I eventually had all of my socks kind of start to smell a little bit bad, and the shoes smelled a little bit bad. And so I threw out the socks when I got home. But then I kept the shoes. I'm like, they don't really smell that bad. And over time, over a few months, my shoe that smelled a little bit bad from the Europe trip started to like infect all of my socks and they all started smelling bad. And then all the socks got infected and then they infected all my shoes and I had to throw out 3 pairs of shoes and all my socks. I tried cleaning, I tried baking soda, nothing worked, and I had to give the old sock reset. And so I'm now much more careful about letting dirty shoes contaminate my sock stash.
Wow, that's
Has that ever happened to you?
the great sock reset. Yeah, it has. Feel like it gets to a point where you are forced to do a great clothes reset in general. As much as we hate to say it, we only really have like 20 good wears of a shirt in its lifetime, 20 cycles of cleaning it before you really got to throw it out. And it's tough though. You have those favorite shoes and those favorite socks. You just don't want to get rid of them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it definitely does happen to me. I have to change my work shoes every year, for that reason, because just the socks will get trashed after that.
It's the socks. The shoes can be all right. It's the socks that come in and get them.
Really? Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You said the socks getting infected, so that
Infected.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, once they get infected, you got to get rid of them.
Got to eradicate
You
the
have to.
stench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it bother anyone around you?
No, it wasn't that bad, but it was enough for me to notice, you know. You don't want to be a teacher with stinky feet. The kids will start blaming each other at first, and then they'll start to realize, no, this is the teacher.
Yeah, they'll give you nicknames, Mr. Stinko.
Yeah.
What they'll name you as.
Yeah. Love it.
All
All
right.
right.
Speaking of smelly things like that,
Yeah.
wait, did your socks attract any flies to begin with?
No, my socks had no flies.
Um, you know what? And you get a piece of fruit from the store and you bring it back and it kind of gets rotten. And you
Mhm.
think to yourself, where did these fruit flies come from?
Yeah.
Right. That was a scribble I had this week. And just like, where do the flies come from in general? Like, how do they know that you have rotten bananas? And essentially, the fly sniffers are very good and they can come in through the cracks and, the crevices of your house and they can come and smell that fermented fruit really well.
Dude, they have a
Um,
mean sense of smell.
Mhm.
To
it,
smell, where are they in the winter? How are there fruit flies? Are they just hibernating outside and then they get a little whiff of
yep,
old nanner
exactly.
and then through the cracks of your house that should be airtight or watertight, they make it through and then start to feast on your nanner peel?
I feel like yeah, flies nowadays they have a good idea of what the bundle of bananas and they actually look like nowadays, so they can
Yeah.
spot that from a mile away. But apparently, do you remember doing like the fruit fly thing in high school, like where we
Hmm.
actually put them together and just like the disgusting banana like baby food in the
Yeah.
tubes
Yeah.
and whatnot? But yeah, apparently sometimes like the eggs they can actually stay in fruit. So if you get fruit from the store, you bring it back, you're bringing the fruit fly eggs
Mm.
into your house. So essentially, like the fruit you get is like that science experiment that we did, which is kind
Yeah,
of crazy.
accidentally bring home the beast, so to speak.
Bring, yeah, the beast. Yeah, that's a good
That
saying.
yeah. They just appear. They totally just appear out of thin air, it feels like.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We never got to eat those tubes of mashed up bananas in high school.
What
Never
a
got to
shame.
take home the experiment, and eat it.
Yeah, they didn't let us keep the dissected frogs either.
Ah,
That would have
shoot.
been
Yeah,
a
I tried.
mantelpiece.
I tried my hardest. Yeah,
Would have been a
they weren't
mantelpiece.
mine. Would you do that for your students?
No, we don't do dissections
Uh,
at my school in third grade, but some grades do, and you'll walk into a classroom and there's like owl pellets glued onto the wall, all dissected, and it's like that's the mandible of a mouse, and you're like, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Yeah.
I bet some kids would try to bring it home though.
Yeah, they
Very
might sneak it.
unpredictable.
I could see a couple kids just sneaking it, like, oh, I think I threw it out, and it's like sticking out of their back pocket. Yeah.
What's that mouse bone doing in your pocket?
Yeah. Give me that mouse bone back or you're in
Yeah.
detention, buddy. Yeah. Nice. All right. I've got another scribble for you.
Yeah. What do you got?
So, studies show that grunters in sports hit the ball harder and kick harder, like 25% harder than people who aren't grunting. And Sports Science, if you remember that old show, tested this and they found similar results. So, grunting, if you're hitting, "Rah, rah," it really does make the ball go harder a little bit. And I think the same is true. Just like grunting in sports, when you take a bite of food and make a noise, mm, Mhm. It makes the food taste better. If you enjoy the flavor and like it tastes better. Am I wrong?
You're exactly right. I totally agree with you on that. And, I can relate to this in a sense. So when I'm going down like double black diamonds or just black diamonds in general, on the ski trail, and I'm talking to myself and I'm grunting to myself like you're gonna get down this mountain. You're not gonna get hurt. You're gonna be fine. Like you're gonna do this. Like I feel a lot more confident in actually getting down the mountain. So I totally agree. That's not a surprising statistic at all to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
I
think
agree.
if you're totally, if you're eating food, let's say we're eating the same piece of bread, you and me. And when I eat it, I go, yeah, make gross noises. That same piece of bread is not going to taste as good as if you're eating it going, mm, mm.
With that logic, so say you have like a quarterback one for the football team, and he's doing a drill. He launches a football and he grunts. The backup saying, if I don't grunt, am I not going to throw it as far? So he does it anyway too. That's kind of the same
Oh
logic
yeah.
there.
Everyone starts
Yeah,
grunting.
yeah.
I think it'd be good if everyone were just you walk into a cafeteria, every person. Mm, mm.
That'd be funny. Applying that logic to for my work, for example, working on a part on the shop floor and grunting while you're, turning the machines on to increase your performance and anything, or working on a pretty intense Excel sheet at your desk and doing some grunts.
Go to hit the on button as you hit it.
Oh, why don't this formula work?
Yeah.
God damn.
V lookup as you press it.
Yeah, Sasquatch noise, Chewbacca, grunting. Yeah, I feel like we should normalize that in the
Yeah.
office.
Well, speaking of noises, I have another one for you.
All right, yeah.
This is a noise I learned I can make recently. And it's a strange noise and not one you would expect coming from me. And so if I'm out in public, I've started experimenting with just letting a little out and people don't think it's coming from me. If you kind of turn your head and they look around, where is that coming from? And I'm just having a little fun with it, you know? I'm just making a little, but even with my students, they've started catching on. I'll be between the desks, kneeling down, helping them with something, and I'll go and then keep on working. And they say, well, where's that coming from? So it's kind of this playful, fun thing. But I was thinking, what would be other good situations to make a noise?
In court.
The verdict is coming out. You're just not
Yeah,
happy
yeah.
with the ruling, and you go,
Yeah, maybe distract somebody real quick
yeah,
while you try to make an escape. Um,
yeah, yeah. You're
that's
like
what I could think of.
life without parole.
Yeah. Are you trying to like rage bait your students, or you're just trying to do it like out of like fun?
Just
You
have
like you
fun.
make the noise and like you look with them
Yeah, yeah.
like
It's
you're
more
looking
just
with
kind of
them.
this a playful energy, just to have some fun. But
That's funny.
I think you could be on maybe a fancy dinner date, and you say, "Oh, okay, so tell me more about that." And, oh well, mm, mm," and just throw people off.
Yeah, they'd definitely throw people off if you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or,
Between sentences, it's like, ah, and what would you like to eat tonight, monsieur? Could I please have the spinach parfait and also your best wine? And it would just like the reaction is like, what did I just hear that right? What was that noise?
that's definitely a better place filler than saying, can I get can I get in a number a seven? Making that noise is more funny and unique.
All the filler words, like,
Yeah, yeah, it
yeah,
makes it more unique.
makes
Yeah.
sense. So I was walking in the park when my friend walked up to me and said that he wanted to go to the park too, and you just throw it in. Replace all the likes, ums, and buts with
Yeah, I don't think you're able to do that in like a job interview,
no.
honestly, or
Unless
like a presentation you after like
no.
your Fulbright semester or
No.
something.
Like, so what'd you learn in this year abroad? Well, it was, and just leave it at that. And it kind of
That's
leaves
it makes me wonder if there's any languages out there that use like facial language to kind of get
facial.
across their point. Is that a
I
thing
don't,
like in Spanish? Do you like do any of those
I
pauses
don't
like that?
know.
Anything like
I
that?
know it's my understanding. I'm no expert at all, but in American Sign Language, there's some facial expression component. That's my understanding. And then also there's words like I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation, but Alsa, which is a language in South Africa, and they do the clicking, and there's like
Yeah.
different vowel clicks that they'll make.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
those two
there's
make me
some.
think of ASL and Alsa, whatever that language is. Those two seem like they might start to do some of that noise with facial expressions, kind of.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's some Latin American countries that use clicking, right? And that's what you said in your
Oh, I don't
answer.
know. It's in South
Oh,
Africa. Um,
okay.
is my understanding. The Trevor Noah book, Born a Crime, he talks
Mm,
about that language and he speaks it, I think.
okay. Yeah,
Um,
you remember in SpongeBob where they in Rock Bottom they use the fart noises when they talk. You're
oh,
welcome.
oh yeah.
You watch SpongeBob, right?
I here and there, here and there. I wasn't an avid fan, but I like the top episodes.
So, but you recognize when people they say a meme or something, memorable from SpongeBob, you realize that, it's from
Yeah.
SpongeBob and
It's my Krabby
yeah,
Patty. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Here's my own statistic. I think that 95% of Gen Zers watch SpongeBob. Not regularly, but at least have seen like, seasons 1 through 3 and understand the references. I'd say 95%. If I have 100, friends, I would say five of them have never seen the show. Their parents didn't watch it, but it's incredible the impact that SpongeBob has had on Gen Z's life. Just like you were saying, like you understand the memes. If someone says it, someone's entire personality can be based off of saying SpongeBob references. And I personally don't think there'll ever be a cartoon as influential as SpongeBob was on Gen Z. Would you say the same?
Yeah, I think 95% is about accurate. It's a super ubiquitous show
Mhm.
and even if you haven't seen too many episodes, to at least have seen clips or one episode here or there. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I, I would say it's like on par SpongeBob is with Mickey Mouse. Like it's never going to go away.
No.
In our lifetime or
Mickey,
kids'
Mickey,
lifetimes.
Mickey will persist.
The mouse and the sponge are forever. I would say that.
There could be some serious like catastrophe going on Earth, and Mickey and the Sponge are
Mm,
just going to be there waiting
yeah.
for things to settle down.
It's awkward though when you make a reference, for me personally, to that 5% who have never seen SpongeBob and you're kind of just sitting there like
Like, you know
they
it,
kind of
right?
yeah, they kind of look at you kind of weird when I say, send this report to Davy Jones's locker. Someone at work just kind of they said, like, who is this guy? I don't know who Davy Jones is. I can't find him on
They're asking
Outlook.
around on the floor, who Davy
Yeah.
anywhere? Who's Davy?
Davy Jones locker, yeah. That's funny.
That's awesome. All right, what's
What I
another
got?
one you got for me? What's your next scribble?
Oh man. A scribble I had was stereotypes that humans make about animals. So you and I we're both fan of monkeys and apes. We share what 90% of our DNA more with apes or something. But
98.7 with bonobos.
very very nice. I think mice too are up there. But anyway, so humans, especially with pop culture boom, media stuff like that, we have created stereotypes for these animals like apes and monkeys. They don't really eat, the Chiquita bananas that you get from the store. I mean, they would never eat something like that. And you probably know what organic wild plantains and bananas look and taste like. Like you've seen those
Smaller,
in
very
the
different.
wild, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they eat those, but it's nothing like the bananas we eat, which is the equivalent of giving these apes like candy or cake. We just do it just because like humans said that, yeah, monkeys eat bananas, so let's just all give them diabetes. But there's a couple other examples, like platypus.
Uh-huh.
They don't actually sweat milk. Like that's a myth.
I've
Yeah,
never
it's
heard.
they've never heard that. That show Phineas and Ferb kind of popularized it, but yeah, platypus they don't actually sweat milk. That was a stereotype from humans, or that bats are blind. That's
Oh,
actually a stereotype. Yeah,
they have low vision, right?
yeah, but they can actually see exceptionally well in the dark. In
Oh.
college, I used to go spelunking a lot, cave diving, not cave diving, but just caving.
Uh-huh.
And in the spring, there's bats all in the caves, and you can't disturb them because they're resting essentially. But you look up, and there's hundreds of bats, and they could turn their head like 360 degrees, and I knew they could see us. So I knew that stereotype was bogus. But
What
is
was
there any other?
what was that bat thinking when he saw you walking in his cave?
Yeah, you probably thought I was some food or something. I feel like 100 bats versus one human. I feel like a human could go down 100 to 1.
Oh,
I feel like it's a
would
good
no,
ratio.
100's a lot. Just by net
Yeah,
weight,
yeah.
they would be probably. I mean, they weigh a bat weighs at least a pound and a half or two, right?
Probably a half pound, honestly,
All right,
but I feel,
I'm gonna look this up.
yeah,
How
I feel like
much?
100 to 1. That's good. Bat to human, who would win?
Let's see. So a bat typically weighs around, oh yeah, 33 ounces. So 3 pounds. One, what they can reach. Okay, so if a bat, a normal bat is like 2 pounds. So 100 bats is 200 pounds.
Mm,
That's like the average male.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a big conglomerate of bats.
I
I think
probably thought I
they're
was.
taking the human down every day.
Where'd Mima go? The bats got her
Mima's
again.
down with the bats.
Yeah,
They got her.
but actually, another stereotype about bats is that they're not vampires. Did you
Hmm.
know that? Yeah.
They don't
No,
suck blood?
no, and
What do they just eat fruit?
yeah, and they're not vampires. Well, they eat bugs and stuff, but people think that they're like Count Dracula, and they're not.
Yeah,
So
like taking a
that's
fly, like draining the
yeah,
fly from it. It's
that's
like
just
how okay, if you're gonna vampire a fly, there's not many fluid ounces of liquid to take out of there. You'd have to go through a lot of flies. So that makes
yeah.
sense that they're not vampires.
That's why bats are so small.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What they got to do is get a fermented Chiquita banana from an ape, leave it out, attract the fruit flies, and then go to town. That's
I
what they
like
need to
it.
do.
Start setting traps.
Yeah, I feel like bats, they use tools, right? Bats are like crows. I mean, the same thing, right? They can use tools,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think they could. If not, they're close developmentally. They'll get there within the next few centuries.
Same thing.
Yeah.
All right, what
Nice.
do you got?
All right. Um, when you were a kid, did you have grandparents you would go visit?
Yeah.
There is a fear that every child has to enter their grandparents' room. Not because the grandparents mean or anything like that. There's just this mystic, unknown energy in a grandparent's room when you're a small child. It's like, hey, honey, go get this from your grandma's room. And you stand on the door looking in. You're like, I don't belong in here. This is grandma's zone only. Has this happened to you?
I would say yes. I would say probably 100% of people, with grandparents would definitely agree with that.
There's like
It's just
this mysticism, this
yeah,
fog in the grandparents' room, and you don't go in there. It's like the Pirates of the Caribbean music plays and the ship bells play when you kind of open the door. Even if you just have to
yeah.
go get a small thing, it's like that's not a place for kids, you know?
No, yeah, it's like Davy Jones's locker. Yeah,
Yeah,
I totally agree with you. It's mystic. It's something of lore that, it's not for kids. Even though
no,
we're so curious, it's
no.
not for kids.
And as you grow up, you're like, okay, my grandma or my grandpa's a person just like everyone else, and it kind of loses that energy. But when you're little, it's like there's some energy going on in grandparents' rooms. You just don't go in there. You don't go in there.
I know like my granddad, one of them, he had an actual bear skin rug with man, I what is it called? Mantles, right? Of like taxidermied animals
Hmm.
um on the wall too, which for a kid is really spooky.
Yeah.
And that's something my sister's never forgotten was, when she's 4 years old, that bear skin rug. I mean, that's not
Mhm.
something you forget. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of fear too going in there.
Yeah, and
If you see
especially if it's
something like
night and
that.
you have to like turn a light on, you see that thing looking at you. That's some
Yeah,
scary stuff.
totally agree.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Good point. Good scribble.
Yeah. What's the next scribble you got?
Oh man, what do we got? So in Romania, you might have seen this on the internet. I've never been to Romania. Have you?
No.
But there's a town. I might butcher the name, but it's a Cluj-Napoca residents. They can pay for their transit, their bus tickets by doing 20 squats in front of this monitor that tracks their movement and everything. Um, so it started in 2020 under Fitness Week in Europe, and there was 14,000 tickets in that first 2 week. 14,000 people did 20 squats, and then they got on the bus and went downtown. Um, so that's just a crazy thing to me. Imagine if we did that in the States. I mean, I think there's what 25% of Americans have gym memberships. So there's a lot of athletic activity going on around here. I feel like that could be yielded into a whole bunch of free bus or train or metro tickets.
Well, I like the idea. The problem is in the United States, there are so many buses and trains that we don't use. Like there either are lines that go unused, or there
Mm.
are some cities that have metro, but very few. So I love the idea. What are some places in the United States that you would need access by doing squats to that maybe aren't a train, something else?
What about like the Everglades, right? If
Everglades.
you want to go on the fan boats, you gotta do some push-ups real quick. Or if the fan boats are powered by athletic activity and you have an alligator or an anaconda, or I don't know if those are real, coming at you, and the tour guide says, "All right, guys, you got to do your 20 squats like ASAP before
Yeah,
the gators come and get you." I
I
feel like
like it.
that, like marshlands. Yeah.
Marshlands. Access to marshlands required by squat only. You can't get in
Mm.
if you're not squatting.
The funny thing is, though, I don't think that would really yield to more physically fit people. I
No,
don't really
20
think.
squats isn't gonna touch a lifetime of
No.
maybe worse diet or a lack of exercise.
It's enough to get your heart rate going, which is all people really need, once or
That's
twice a day,
yeah,
get it above
that's the
100.
point. That's why you go on the fan boats is to get your heart
Yeah.
moving a little bit.
Or you could use it actually as a good excuse to be late to somebody's house. You say,
Yeah.
sorry, I was late. I had a cramp, my stomach doing my squats on Flatbush Avenue. I can't make it. I'm not feeling good today. But all the free stuff that Americans would get with their gym memberships,
Mm, yeah. Yeah, because how much is a gym membership? Like
I
$20 a
don't
month?
know, actually. I go to the gym at work, which is, free.
Mm,
So I can
yeah.
imagine it, yeah, $20, $30.
Yeah.
Or
Nice. Well, that makes
yeah.
sense. You got another scribble?
It's one scribble, one observation.
Okay.
But I noticed that growing up because we had a Ford Explorer growing up. Um, and the models 2002 to 2005. So those are the ones that are featured after Jurassic Park. And there's going to be a crack in every one that you see on the road on the tailgate panel where the Ford logo is. Next time you see a Ford Explorer, look at that. You will see a crack. And we had one of these Explorers, and I looked into it, and it is a defect from the manufacturer. When you're closing the tailgate, there's going to be a lot of forces in squeezing that panel, and it just makes a vertical crack right down the center next to the logo. So I was thinking of like other defects that we just kind of don't notice in life. One is those soap dispensers, the automatic ones, the motion detectors. It's half of the time they don't work. You put your hand there under the soap and then you move it. The only way that the soap will dispense is if you move your hand out of the way. So you're left with all this big soap pile in the sink,
Oh.
or even the automatic paper towel dispenser. Half the
Mm.
time that doesn't work, and we just don't care. We don't think about it. Um, yeah. Any other
Yeah.
defects
Oh,
that you
that's so
see?
true. No, I'm trying to think. Off the top of my head, there are defects all around us. There are things that don't work. I think sometimes those self-service counters don't really work, or your self-checkout, like three of them are broken, and there's two, and so then it's still quicker to go through a regular cashier line. Um, but all around us, there are hidden defects everywhere
Smoke
we look.
alarms,
Smoke
the,
alarms. Oh, that's
the
yeah. You take a
chirping.
battery. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then you take a battery out, and then there's no reason to have it in the
Yeah,
first place.
yeah, but you test the battery, and half the time the battery's good. The smoke alarm's just chirping at 2 a.m. for
Yeah,
absolutely no reason.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Uh, yeah, great. All right. Well, good scribbles, and thanks for listening to the second little pilot here. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.